It should. It's a very complicated issue, and because you have no evidence here. And so that's all I want to say about it, but it creates quite a convoluted approach by Zeke's representatives and by the league that I really hate is a focus of all of our attention.
All right, Cowherd, does Jerry need to stop publicly defending Ezekiel Elliot?
Yeah, I think when it comes to domestic violence, let the attorneys sort it out. But on a bigger note, let's say Ezekiel Elliott's suspension is reduced. Does Jerry want the perception that his influence stepped in? He's a very powerful man. I mean, he moved an NFL team basically to Las Vegas, which was a stigma for 100 years. Does he want the perception, if it's reduced, that Jerry's the reason, his power, that it got reduced? I think you should stay away from this and let attorneys figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think Jerry would care, because I think Jerry believes in Zeke's innocence, and Jerry believes in the absence of evidence here. I think Jerry's making a play not unlike what the different deal. This is a criminal case or criminal-type allegations, but a different play than what New England did with Deflategate. They strung that out in court for a year. It didn't take effect until the next year for Tom Brady. I think that's what Jerry and the Cowboys are doing here. They're all in on trying to win a Super Bowl this year. They feel like they have a Super Bowl team. Jerry's getting towards the end of Zeke until the hilt. Hopefully get through this year, win a Super Bowl, and then let the chips fall where they may.
If you're looking at it from a standpoint where you believe the evidence, then don't stop fighting. That's how it is. I heard some guys earlier today say that Zeke should just come back and just say, you know what, this is too big of a distraction. I'm just going to take the punishment and I'm going to move on. Not if you didn't do it. I understand it's an ugly thing that's going on, but if you believe, and if Jerry Jones believes that the evidence that he's seen and the evidence that's in his case, and I'm sure he's been privy to all of it, that the guy didn't do anything, then he shouldn't stop fighting for him. Zeke shouldn't stop fighting for himself. We understand that this is a touchy issue, but just like something could have happened, he could be telling the truth. So you have to continue to fight it to the end, and regardless of how it is. So I don't have a problem with Jerry saying, I believe what the guy is saying, if he believes it.
Yeah, well, Jerry's going to do what Jerry wants to do.
Yeah, we know that.
Jerry's in his own world. So I don't think you're ever going to, just even having that conversation about should he say something or not. Jerry's going to do what he wants to do. But we had a chance to listen to the commissioner and present his side of the story. Obviously, he's not giving details of what actually happened, but when you give it to 4 independent people and one an ex-player, I think there was 2 women, one ex-detectives, cops for 30 years or whatever, and they all come back with the same decision that, yes, he deserves something, and you're still going to continue to fight it. I don't know. I guess I'm not the judge. I would say, like, just let the chips go. You got a great offensive line. I hear what you're saying, like, just stay out of it. But at the same, that's not Jerry's demeanor, and he's gonna do what he feels. He did a great job at it too. So I don't have a problem with it.
He's a 74-year-old billionaire. Like, even if you're a 38-year-old billionaire, you got a long tail to your life. You have to be conciliatory. You get to be a 75-year-old billionaire. You got 6 years left, 7 before you hand it to the kids. You're not going to tell people what to do. And there's no question. As money ages, it doesn't always age well. It becomes more eccentric and more powerful and less conciliatory. And so I think Jerry looks at it and thinks, what? Listen, I'm making all the moves in this league now. I'm moving franchises. I moved St. Louis to L.A., Oakland to Vegas. I'm going to say what I want to say. And I think sometimes, commissioners would like us to be unified, but Jerry is senior, one of the richest, the most powerful, and he was a loose cannon in his 40s.
But do you believe that Jerry is having this fight and having this discussion and proclaiming his innocence because he's just trying to get the sentence reduced? I heard you say, so just string it on and then accept it later, or get a reduction right now. Do you think that's what's really happening?
No, I think Jerry believes in the absence of evidence here and doesn't want Zeke convicted of something and punished when there's no real evidence. As long as it's a he said, she said, Jerry's going to be like, well, hold on, man, this is America. We need more than that.
That's what would transpire anyway. Why would his words influence that? If you're right, and if he believes that, why would he have to influence it if there's no evidence?
Well, again, I'm going to remove the money from it. My father got to be about over 65, and he just didn't care what anybody thought, and he was just a ghetto thousandaire. And so once you reach a certain age and you don't care.
That's what I'm saying with Jerry. He doesn't anymore.
And so I don't. But again, I don't think that's a money thing. I just think that's an age. You live long enough, and it's like there's only so much BS you're going to tolerate in Jerry's mind.
But how many? Let me say this though. But how many of us believe? Because I believe that one thing that Jerry does care about is the ongoing good of the league. I really do think that matters to him.
Yeah.
And the thing about this case, getting it reduced, and Ezekiel Elliot getting 2 games, a 2-game suspension, in my opinion, that would be worse. Because you're basically saying, because if you're saying 6 games for domestic abuse, you find evidence, because if you give him games, you found evidence of domestic abuse. So you're saying, okay, well, if you choke her, it's not as bad as if you punch her. It's not as bad as if you throw her down. It's like domestic abuse. Okay, if that's what you're going to say, take your stand. And I think that puts a bigger black eye on the league than actually saying, okay, this is what you did, and this is the punishment, and we have a zero tolerance policy as a way with certain things.
All right, to Zeke's teammate, Dak Prescott, who just weighed in on the NFL's ongoing wave of national